Hello, my amazing Algebra Half students. This is Mrs. A, and I love math. And today's lesson is lesson 24, and we're talking about metric length conversions. And we're going to be talking about the basic unit of the metric system for length is the meter. And a meter is about 3 inches longer than a yard. And we know a yardstick, we're used to seeing a yardstick. So basically a yardstick is probably close to a tall man's arm length. Okay, and a meter would be 3 inches longer than that. Okay, so you got an idea of what a meter is. So then we have these two rules that we're going to learn, that if we took a meter and we cut it up into 100 equal parts, so we're talking about something like that, okay, that's called a centimeter. So there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. But if you were going to measure a big distance, like you were driving in a car, you might use kilometers, because 1,000 meters put side by side would equal end to end, would be a kilometer. And a kilometer's a big distance, isn't it? 1,000 meters. So we are going to be using these unit conversions. And we could use, for this one, 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. So if 100 centimeters equals 1 meter, then isn't this 1? It's a value of 1. Or we could put the 1 meter on the top and put the 100 centimeters on the bottom, and it would still have a value of 1. And so since they are equal to 1, when we multiply them by something, it doesn't change the value, it just changes the units of measure. So now we have this one, 1,000 meters is 1 kilometer. 1,000 meters could go over 1 kilometer in a unit conversion, or 1 kilometer could go over 1,000 meters. And remember what our rule is. If we're trying to go from one unit of measure to another unit of measure, we always put the one we're going to on the top. We put the one that we're going from on the bottom. So let's watch how this goes. I want to show you this screen so that you can maybe copy what you need on a piece of paper, because here we go with some example problems. Okay, on this first example, we have convert 528 centimeters to meters. So we're going from 528 centimeters to how many meters? So if you want to, you can actually write this on your piece of paper when you're trying to get into your head what it is you're doing. And then once you do the little arrow, if you want to, you can take off the little arrow and you can make this your unit conversion. And then you're all ready to multiply and get your equal sign. So maybe it will help you just think about what you're trying to do. Since I'm going 2 meters, remember what I told you, we're going to put meters on the top because that's where we want to go. We want to lose the centimeters. So we're going to put the centimeters on the bottom so the centimeters and the centimeters will cancel. And then we have to make this a true statement. It's not a true statement right now. We need to make it equal 1. So I know that 100 centimeters is 1 centimeter. So then I put in my equivalency here to where 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. And because of that, this whole unit conversion is equal to 1. And that's why we call it a unit conversion, because it changes nothing but the units. Its value is still 1. Okay, so now we can see what we need to do. We need to take 528, so 528, and then we're going to divide, because the 100's on the bottom, we're going to divide by 100 to get the value that we want right here. Okay, and then we're going to cancel the centimeters, We're left with meters, which is what we wanted. Okay, so when we divide by 100, remember, all we have to do that is move the decimal 2 places to the left. So if I did do long division, 528 divided by 100, we would say, oh, well, 100 will go in 5 times. So we'd have the 5 way over here, and then we'd have a decimal, wouldn't we? And then we'd say 5 times 100 is 500. And then we would bring down the 28. And we would say, uh-oh, we're going to have to bring down a 0. And so the 0 is after the decimal, isn't it? So then we would say it goes in 2 times. And then we would multiply and get 200. And then lastly, we'd say, oh, we're going to have to bring down another 0. And the last digit would be 8. But I have no board space. So 5.28 is the answer. But the quick way to do that is just say, oh, when I divide by 100, I move the number of zeros 2 places to the left because my number is getting smaller. I'm dividing it by 100. So 528, remember our decimal is always at the end of a number. We don't see it, but it's understood to be at the end of the number. So when I move it 2 places to the left, I get 5.28. 5.28 meters is our answer. There is your board, and here's the next example. Here's our problem. We're going to take 486 kilometers and convert to meters. How many meters is that going to be? Okay, so here's my little arrow, and I'm just going to turn that one into my unit conversion and stick an equal sign on the other, and I'm ready to go. So now I want to lose my kilometers, so I'm going to put kilometers on the bottom. I want to go to meters, so meters will always go on the top. Whatever I'm going to will be on the top. But then I need to make this unit conversion a true statement. I need to make it equal 1. So kilometers are the really big ones. Okay, so 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. So now I'm all ready to go. My kilometers will cancel kilometers. I'm multiplying by 1,000. So 486 times 1,000. And my answer is left in meters. So all I have to do is figure out what this is and plop it right there in that spot. Now remember, when I multiply by a power of 10, I move the 0 or the decimal to the right. Okay, so I'm going to move the decimal to the right 3 places. So here's my decimal. Okay, and I'll write the number down again. Okay, so here's my decimal, and I'm going to move the decimal place 1, 2, 3 places to the right, the number of zeros that I see, and then I will fill it in with zeros. So my answer is 486,000 meters. 486,000 meters. So 486,000 meters. And that is the end of that example. Let's do another one. We don't have any more examples. We have practice problems. So copy the first 2 practice problems down and work them on their own. So you need to pause your video. Hopefully you did that. And now we're going from 58 meters to centimeters. So I'm going to take my little arrow and turn it into my little unit conversion here, and put my equal sign. I want to lose meters, so I will put meters on the bottom. I want to go to centimeters, so centimeters will be on the top. And then I need to make this a true statement. And I know it takes 100 centimeters to give me 1 meter. So now I have everything in the right order. Meters cancels meters. And my answer is going to be 58 times 100. And I know when I times 100, I'm going to move my decimal place 2 places to the right. So 58 has a decimal place here at the end. And when I move it 2 places to the right and fill in with zeros, I get 5,800. And 5,800 is my answer. It's easy when all we have to do is move decimals, isn't it? Okay, so 100 meters to how many kilometers? So I'm going to take my little arrow. I'm going to turn it into my unit conversion symbol here. I'm trying to get rid of meters, so I'll put meters on the bottom. I'm trying to go to kilometers, so kilometers will be on the top. And then I have to write the correct rule in here. I know it takes 1,000 meters to make 1 kilometer. So I'm going to cancel my meters and my meters. And 100 divided by 1,000, what happens when I take 100 with my decimal at the end and I move the decimal place back because of division 3 places? So here we go. 1, 2, 3. So isn't the answer 0.1 or 1/10 of a kilometer? And we're done with those two, and we'll be back with the last practice. This is a quick lesson. This is the last one. So here we have 48,000 centimeters, and we're going to meters. So here we'll take our little arrow, turn it into our little unit conversion sign, and we want meters to come out of this process, so we'll put meters on the top. We want centimeters to go away, so we'll put them in the bottom so they will cancel. And we have to make this a true statement. So meters, centimeters, centimeters. I need 100 centimeters to give me 1 meter. So now we're going to do what? 48,100 on the bottom. So we're going to end up, could we just show a cancellation of those zeros? We could do that. So we're going to have 480 is the answer. And we cancel the centimeters. But if we wanted to do it the other way, we could write down 48,000, 48,000, and then dividing by 100 is going to be taking this decimal and moving it 2 places to the left because we're dividing. And there you have the 480 again. So 480 meters is your answer. There is your board. Hopefully you did it on your own. And this is Mrs. A, and may God bless your day.